All right, let's just jump right in. For years, we've all operated under a certain set of rules about how people find and buy things online. But by 2026, those rules, they've been completely torn up and rewritten. What we're going to break down here is this massive fundamental shift in digital discovery and how social media basically became the new front door for everything.
Just think about it for a second. It's almost muscle memory, right? You have a question, you need to buy something, you're looking for a review. There's one place your fingers have been trained to go to for, 20 years?
Yep. For the better part of this century, Google and other search engines were the undisputed kings of discovery. They were the map, the phone book, and the library all rolled into one. But that kingdom is now facing a massive, massive challenger. And this slide, wow, this shows you the sheer scale of the takeover. By 2026, social platforms are where over 60% of all product discovery happens. And traditional search engines, they've dropped to under 35%. This isn't just a small trend, it's a full-on tectonic shift that completely redefines the very first step a customer takes. So, let's get into our first section. Social is the new search. We're going to dig into why your feed, the place you go for baby photos and vacation updates, has quietly become the most powerful commercial discovery tool on the entire planet. So why on earth did this happen? Well, it really just boils down to trust and context. We're kind of tired of polished, perfect ads. We want real, human experiences. And that's why a staggering 52% of people now prefer searching on social. For Gen Z, it's even more dramatic. Over half trust what they find on social media more than Google. We don't just want to know if a product is good, we want to see it in a real person's life.
Okay, so if social is the new search bar, then the platforms themselves are the new search engines. In this next section, we're going to map out this new digital world. We'll look at the major players and figure out the specific role each one plays in this new ecosystem.
This quote just nails it. It perfectly captures the core of the new strategy. Think of each platform as a different lake with different kinds of fish. You just can't cast a giant one-size-fits-all net anymore. You have to go fish where your audience actually lives.
So here's a high-level map to help us get our bearings. We can basically group the major platforms into 3 strategic buckets. You've got the foundations, which give you massive reach. Then you have the discovery engines, where people are actively looking for stuff. And finally, the niche and trust hubs for really specific communities and conversations.
Let's start with the foundations, the two giants that really form the bedrock of most social strategies, Facebook and Instagram. Think of these two as the established superhighways of the internet.
Even in 2026, you just can't argue with Facebook's size. We're talking over 3 billion users. It's still the #1 spot for product discovery, but its real superpower? Community. It's the absolute hub for building deep connections in groups and for customer service, which makes it a really high-intent platform for brands.
And then you've got Instagram. I love this description of it. It's a brand's unprofessional resume. It's where you show off your style, your vibe. And for Gen Z, it is the undisputed champion for customer care. 72% prefer it. The feed is your storefront, for sure, but the real business, the relationship building, that's all happening in the DMs and stories.
All right, let's switch gears to the discovery engines. YouTube, TikTok, and Pinterest. These are the platforms where people show up with a mission. They aren't just scrolling to kill time. They are actively looking for answers, for ideas, for inspiration. This is especially true on a platform like Pinterest. It's basically a visual search engine where people are in a planning mode, totally open to finding new brands.
YouTube is the absolute master of this. I mean, it's the world's second biggest search engine for a reason. Content on YouTube is evergreen. A single helpful video can build trust and bring in traffic for years. That's why it's 1.6 times more likely to influence a purchase than any other platform. It's where you go to learn.
TikTok, on the other hand, is the undisputed king of entertainment. It's the #1 discovery channel for Gen Z, with an engagement rate that just crushes everybody else. The key to winning here isn't a big budget. It's about being raw, human, and fun. Brands win by joining the party, not by interrupting it. And finally, you have those niche and trust hubs. Think LinkedIn for B2B, Reddit for brutally honest reviews, X for real-time news, Threads for conversations, and Snapchat for connecting with a younger audience through AR. Each one is a specific room for a specific type of conversation.
So, knowing all this, how in the world do you choose? In this section, we're going to walk through a really simple but powerful 3-part filter to help you find the absolute perfect platform for your specific goals.
The framework is pretty straightforward. First, who are you trying to reach, and what's their mindset when they're on that platform? Second, why are you doing this? Is it for awareness, sales, or community? And third, and this one's a biggie, how are you going to do it? What can you realistically create consistently and well?
Let's really zero in on that first step, user intent, because it is so crucial. Someone on YouTube is in a lean-in, problem-solving mode. Their brain is on. Someone on TikTok is in a lean-back entertainment mode. Matching your message to their mindset, that is half the battle, right there.
And this chart here shows the how. Every platform has what I call a content energy tax. High-quality video? That's high energy. Photos? Medium. Text? That's low energy. You have to be brutally honest with yourself about what you can actually sustain, because burnout is the #1 enemy of consistency.
Which brings us to our final and maybe the most important section of all, the rule of one. This is a super simple strategy to make sure you start strong, actually make an impact, and don't spread yourself so thin that you just disappear. And here it is. The rule of one is simple. It is so much better to be absolutely amazing on one single platform than to be mediocre or invisible on 4. The goal is to choose one home base and just completely dominate it before you even think about expanding. Focus is your superpower here.
So, what does this look like in the real world? It's simple. You pick your one home base. You pour 80% of your energy into it. You absolutely commit to posting consistently for at least 3 weeks straight. And only then do you add a second platform, mostly just to reshare the awesome stuff you're already making.
And why 21 days? What's the magic in that number? Well, that's roughly how long it takes for a platform's algorithm to learn who you are, what you're about, and who needs to see your stuff. If you're inconsistent, the algorithm just stays confused. And if it's confused, you stay invisible. Simple as that.
So as we wrap this all up, here's a final thought to leave you with. This new landscape of discovery, it really suggests that success isn't about shouting the loudest to everyone. It's about finding the right room, understanding the conversation that's already happening there, and adding real value. It's about being the best answer, not just another voice in the noise.